Great. Hello, and a warm welcome to today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining the webinar. My name is Verena, and I work as a software trainer and consultant here at Fieldcode. And I have the pleasure to be your host today. So, Fieldcode is a field service management software which will help you to optimize and to automate your field service. Today, we will be focusing on one component of Fieldcode. This is our great analytics and BI forecasting solution. And how this forecasting solution will greatly support you and make data-informed decisions, especially for corporations which have a complex service delivery setup, have several projects, and need to support several locations, have very challenging KPIs, in a diverse setup of permanent, part-time, contracted, and subcontracted resources. It is really a challenge to keep resource utilization, cost efficiency, flexibility, and achievement of the key performance indicators high. And with Fieldcode, you can easily plan, manage, and steer this network. So what will be on today's agenda? First, we will discuss together the challenges of a complex service delivery network and how Fieldcode will support you in tackling those challenges. Then you will be seeing Fieldcode and the Fieldcode BI forecasting solution in action. And at the end of the session, we will not have enough time to answer all of the questions you have. So in case you have a question or a remark or a comment during the presentation, feel very free to raise your question in the chat box in Demio. We will be super happy to answer it after the presentation and the demonstrations. So let's get started. With a diverse, multi-tenant, fast-moving service environment, you're facing challenges every day. And especially if you have a complex network with different types of resources, it is a challenge to initially plan and set up your delivery strategy. So the Fieldcode contractor component, will support you in that. Fieldcode can automatically assign workload to your partners based on the defined criteria. Your partners will then have separate accounts with the full control, while you are still be able to keep the overview due to our multi-layer capabilities. Also, Fieldcode's pricing model is very partner-friendly, as we charge per event and not per user. Further, the aim of every delivery is to operate productive and utilize your resources on the highest level by staying cost efficient and still being able to be flexible to adapt to changes, to ticket peaks, and to lower demands. This is then where Fieldcode's automated actions will support you. You can increase the communication flow and also decrease human interaction with Fieldcode. Our software can, for example, automatically inform and reschedule any future visits in case an engineer is stuck in a traffic jam. The next challenge is to stay productive rather than to being reactive. So to spot tickets which are about to run out of SLA before they actually breach the SLA, and to recognize a ticket escalation before you actually receive it. So Fieldcode supports you through our conditions and indications feature. You can define every workflow and every single step in detail. For example, how much minutes you want the respective ticket to be in that step. And yeah, Fieldcode will then alert you in the way as you need it, per SMS, email, or per an indication in the software. Last but not least, with your complex delivery network and your multi-project in a multi-tenant environment, you simply need great data to be able to plan for the future. This is then where our analytics and BI feature will support you greatly. We will have a look into it into detail when we come to the software demo. I mentioned already that with our contractor component, Fieldcode will support you in management of external resources and partner. The key for an efficient resource planning is to build a clear use case for when, using your network of external resources. Are you covering specific areas or skill sets with a partner? Do you want to deliver low volume projects with partners? Or do you just want to use your external resources when your permanent team is fully utilized? The smart onboarding and usage of partner resources can be really the key for having a cost-efficient delivery setup by, still being able to react flexibly and keeping your customer satisfaction here high. Before we will have a look into our forecasting solution, we want to clear out some perceptions around delivery planning and forecasting. Your decisions today influence your decisions tomorrow, of course, but it's also the unconscious daily decisions of the back office team, which influence the forecasting done on management level for the next year. So if the planning is not optimized, you won't reach efficiency in the next year if you simply take that historic data as your base. Furthermore, if your team uses manual scheduling, your dispatchers decide on how and when your subcontractors are assigned work. Nevertheless, the decision on the utilization of the partners, it should be really performed by management on clear use cases. For example, to use as an overflow when your permanent resources are already fully booked. Lastly, it is a common mistake that the resource planning for the future year is done based on the lead pipeline only. You should aim to also take efficiency gains and realistic demands per month and project into consideration. With Fieldcode Analytics, we iron out these common resource forecast planning perceptions. With Fieldcode, you can reach the aim to have your resource planning done on management level, have clear use cases for external resources, and a forecast which is also considering efficiency gains. How this will, how this is looking like in our software, in our field service management software, we will have a look now. So I'm sharing now our analytics component, which is consisting about on 3 different views: the tickets overview, the analytics section for conditions and indications, and the forecasting. If we have a look on the tickets overview, and let me quickly refresh my page so I have a fresh setup for my tenant. In the tickets overview, you see your tickets. You see your backlog of the tickets. You can, of course, always filter by work group just to have the tickets displayed which are currently in this work group. Of course, if you want, you can always export this data to an Excel spreadsheet in case you want to distribute it or use it, for example, for your billing. Also, we have here a ticket map, which is basically also supporting as a heat map. So you can see in which locations and in which areas currently you have the most tickets. When we go to our forecasting section, I will now guide you through the different tabs which we have here. We begin with the distribution. Here you can see how many hats you have assigned per group, and then how many resources are actually actively working on tickets. If we have a look now on our group for Berlin, we have 5 active resources. We have 5 resources, but only 3 are actively working on tickets. Of course, here I can also review the absences of my whole team in detail to see how was the absence in the past, and the overview of the absent type. So for example, if it's a leave or a sickness, and also what absences are actually planned for the next 12 months, which are of course already registered. And great, I can already see that somebody typed in a question in the chat box. So just to work as a reminder, if you have any questions or remarks, please use the chat box. Okay, let's go to the utilization. Utilization basically shows the target per resource of the working time and how much time this resource really worked. So if you have an 8-hour stay, then you are 100% utilized if you work 8 hours. What means working in this report is really work towards a ticket. So either you book working time towards a ticket or driving time towards a ticket. If we see now the utilization for my one group in Berlin, you can see that we are actually doing pretty good in Berlin. You can see that the utilization is always over the target, so over 100%. And the utilization increased greatly during the last year. Actually, in the last month, we had a utilization of 200% in an average, which means that actually every resource in an average worked double than the expected time. You can also then see the utilization in comparison to the ticket amounts in the respective months, of course. Okay, now we had a look how utilized our team in Berlin is. We can also see how productive our team is. So I have here set a target for my demo company of 80% productivity. You can see that in an average, I have a productivity of 69%. I have 32% at my Chicago group and 81% in Berlin. If I especially have a look at Berlin again, I'm very happy I achieved my target. And of course, I can have a look in detail for every day. How was my average per ticket? So average amount of tickets is 10, and I can have a look for every day. I can also see the distribution of which ticket categories have been performed. Also, I see my resources and how my tickets are basically distributed amongst them. I can see that my resource Kate actually only performs printer tickets, and Harry only performs workplace tickets, Whether I have here my engineer Bernard, who works on printer as well as workplace tickets. So I want to have a more detailed look here, especially when I look into the device distribution, why I have actually just, engineers performing certain categories. So the productivity matrix will show me the productivity really per day, and I can stroll 1 year in the past and have a look really on a specific day, on a specific engineer, how this person performed. But also I get an overview of how productive is my resources. If I go again to my Berlin group, I see my 3 resources here, which is Harry, Bernard, and Kate. And I can see the clear, employee of the year here, which is Kate, because her average productivity is 108%. So actually 2 of my 3 resources did hit my target, which I was setting for this project. And actually 1 person underperformed. And as we remember, we had actually Harry not performing printing tickets. So this might be the reason why he is here not fully productive, simply because he didn't receive the onboarding and skill set. So that's the first action I can note to myself to really train up Harry in the printing business. Of course, this device distribution is available with dispatch group, and you can really see the ticket amounts. So I can see 1/3 of my tickets is printers and 2/3 are workplace tickets. So actually, from this view, it would make sense just to have these 2 resources working on printer. Nevertheless, you could see earlier that like the average duration of a printing ticket is much higher. So this is why we need definitely this another resource here. Then for the development criteria, actually let me refresh my page again and show you now the first point, which is one of the forecasting points, which will help you then in your resource planning. So apologies, now I clicked a little bit too much and I'll need to go back to my development criteria. And I'll go to my workplace tickets. Here you can see that my workplace tickets actually will stay almost steady over the next year. I just have a little increase, and I can have a look into that more detail for every quarter, how much more tickets I'm actually expecting. But for workplace, and really the next year will look similar as this year. For my printing tickets, actually, you can see that every month we'll expect to have less tickets. So actually now we are 150% over the amount of tickets which we had in the beginning. But if you look into 1 year, we have almost only 20% of this target. So this is what we need to consider, and this is also now the basis on the calculations by Fieldcode to indicate the resource forecast. So if I go to my ticket trend, you will see actually our ticket trend being the same as we saw, that we have the development criteria, which is actually going down over the next year, while being now 150% higher. If you, for example, have a look into August next year, you can see that actually I'm just expecting 45 tickets more than in the next year. And these will be mainly printer tickets, 55 printer tickets more and 10% workplace tickets less. If I have a look on October this year, you can see that we have a really drastic change here in the printers. we have 297 tickets more expected in one workplace ticket. So by looking into this, you can already imagine that definitely my forecast will be showing that I will be needing more resources. And this is now our headcount forecast. So if I perhaps have a look again into the next month, you can see that I need for the next month 23 resources more. This is based on the fact that actually we have this 23 tickets more in the next month expected. In the past months, we had just these 5 tickets. And you can see as well a differentiation here. You have basically the resource amount which is needed to cover based on the current productivity, and the resource amount based on productivity goal. Means if we continue to work as we currently do, and last year in August we had a productivity of 61%, we would need 23 engineers more. If we actually reach our productivity goal now for the next month, which is actually most likely because we saw that in average we were hitting the productivity goal, we just need this 16 more engineers. And you can see that also really, very, very nicely if you have a look in the overall, let me refresh that page. Yeah. Sorry for that. I'm just wanted to remove the filter. You can see if we consider the current productivity, actually per month we need less engineers. If we consider to be in an average 80%, then this looks much more stable. So the minimum amount of engineers we really need keeping up this crazy productivity and utilization is 2. And the more realistic minimum expectation by having a more stable productivity would be 5. If we want to play safe, the amount of people to be hired would be 13. And also this headcount forecast is available per device category. And here we can see it really nicely that actually all of this growth in business is coming from my printing tickets. And I can also differentiate on the amount of people per device category. In this case, I don't need anybody more for workplace, but I need this in an average 13 people more to cope with the growth. Yeah. So I very much hope that with this use case, it was now clear to you on how you can really use the data of Fieldcode to forecast your business efficiently. So now I just want to summarize what are the benefits of using Fieldcode and especially using the BI tool. So first of all, as discussed at the beginning, is definitely about helping you to optimize your delivery setup, to efficiently plan it, the usage of the permanent and of the subcontracted resources, and based on the historical data of anticipated trends and also forecasts. It will also help you optimize your resource utilization. So to maximize your resource utilization, to spot the training needs as we had now in the use case for our engineer Harry, and to reduce the costs of your delivery and enable a realistic future dispatching. Definitely, it will also maximize your compliance when it comes to the key performance indicators, which you have agreed with your customers, because you can track the KPIs proactively. You can also reduce any delays by the automations, and you can simply also achieve the targets you have set in-house. You can optimize the staffing levels, also the assets which are used per ticket, and plan your spare parts better. And of course, with using business intelligence, you will simply be ahead of the game. So you will be able to make data-driven business decisions simply faster and on the spot to improve your operational efficiencies. Right. Okay. So that was the Fieldcode Analytics component. And yeah, now it will be time to answer any of your questions you have. So as mentioned, you can raise them in the chat box and let me have a look, because I already saw during the presentation some of the questions popped up, and now I'll have a look. Okay, let's start off with the first question, which was asked by Peggy. So Peggy, thanks very much for raising this question. So you ask, if I don't want my team to see all forecasting data, can I restrict access or hide certain information? Yeah, good question. So a simple answer is yes. So we have a different permission structure. Per default, we have the admin, the manager, and the engineer. And of course, for example, if you have a permission as an engineer, you will only be able to see the tickets which are assigned to you. And if you, of course, we also have the partner permissions, which then means if you are a dispatcher at a partner, you can see all the tickets which have been assigned to the partner. So yes, we have a permission structure, and this permission structure can also be customized. For example, you don't want partners to create tickets, so you can simply hide the option. Okay, yeah, I hope this answered your question. If not, feel free to raise any follow-up questions. So yeah, let's have a look on if there's any other questions. And we have actually a question by Harry, so which a coincidence, because my engineer here in the use case is also named Harry. And Harry is asking, could you please clarify what is the difference between utilization and productivity? Yeah, so basically a simple answer would be that utilization is based on working time and productivity is based on points. So utilization is simply have your resource worked 8 hours per day as defined. If yes, utilization is 100%. Productivity is based on point system where you can give certain activities points. For example, you have a break and fix ticket for customer A and you say, normally this takes 60 minutes, so I give it 5 points, but the maintenance for the printer, it takes 3 hours, so I'll give it 15 points. And based on your criteria, then your productivity will indicate a point system, which you can then also set against the goal. Yes, so I hope this one was answered as well. So if you have any follow-up questions, please use the chat box. And then we have as well a question by Bob, which is basically, yeah, how far data are needed for the forecasting system to actually work? Well, that's also a very good question. Basically everything which I showed you, which is ticket related, so ticket overview, and critical tickets, this definitely works just from day one. So you have 1 day of tickets. You will, of course, also see for this 1 day, where's your heat map, where's your critical tickets, and so on. So this will work from day one. Then, of course, things like utilization and productivity also potentially works from day one. So, of course, it's nice to have more data because normally 1 day is not representative. So you shouldn't do any decisions based on 1 day. And then everything which is basically has a calculation behind in terms of trends, in terms of headcount, in terms of future headcount, this we recommend to at least have 3 months of data. So 1 quarter of data to be able to actually calculate a forecast for the next 3 months then. And there also crucial is then the data you put in. Okay, then let me have a look, and it seems like there was no follow-up questions. So of course, if you have any more questions, raise them in the chat box, but also just after this webinar, you can contact me anytime, and you can also write to our demo team at demo@fieldcode.com if you want to arrange a demo with us or have a further discussion with us. You can also now see a button here to press to actually book an appointment, a dedicated appointment with us to discuss your business case. We would be thrilled to discuss it with you. And yeah, generally, of course, Fieldcode has a lot of the features to offer. And apologies, now I actually skipped a slide, and I was showing just one of the components. So let me emphasize that, yeah, Fieldcode as the field service management software can really support your whole delivery cycle and automate, optimize your whole delivery. And also you can actually control your costs. So there is no subscription needed. You don't need to pay per user, but we charge really per event. And this will then also mirror the actual work you performed in the month. And also on our website, fieldcode.com, you'll find our software and a pre-configured software which you can access immediately. Just simply create an account. We'll have dummy engineers, dummy users ready for you to test. And also with just 1 hour of configuration time, you can be ready to already start dispatching and without needing even to speak to us or to consult to us. But of course, we would be super happy to support you and to help you through this process, also to discuss your business case. So as I mentioned, just go to our website and request a demo or write us at demo@fieldcode.com. Okay, so also you can actually find more detailed information here on this little paper we provided with this link. So simply click on it if you want to learn more. And this is now the end of the session. I thank you very much for your attention and for your attention today. And I hope to speak to you soon. Thank you very much and have a great day.